联合早报 said this is a very, very successful propaganda film.
You guys can't even go home and speak to your grandmother without subtitles appearing under her.
Some have called it the most important weapon in the Chinese government's arsenal.
So bro, where were you last week?
China.
China?
I was in China.
You know, they say that's a country where there is no vegetables at all. No vegetable,
Oh
really.
God,
really.
you gotta give me another stupid dad
Yeah,
joke,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay, what is
Yeah.
it? What is it? Why
Because,
there no vegetables in China?
Because 中国嘛 China.
Can you please?
Okay.
Okay, we can start now, right?
Carry
Okay.
on. Yes.
So no, I was there, you know, in my other day job.
Sure.
No, I got 3 or 4 jobs now. In my other job as a journalist, I was there to cover the Shanghai Film Festival, which was a lovely festival, very good films. I saw a bunch of very good films, and I managed to catch
Zhang Ziyi?
No lah, Zhang Ziyi I saw in Hainan last year when
Okay.
she came for the 阿凡达山首映.
Oh, how?
Yeah, so I did something that a lot of elderly aunties and uncles here in Singapore have not been able to do. I watched 给阿嬷的情书 in Teochew.
What's it called? Teochew or
Teochew.
No, the show is called
阿嬷的情书.
阿嬷的
Okay,
情书
I don't know how to say the name in Teochew because even though my father tongue is Teochew, I speak Cantonese. Okay, so 俾阿嬷的情書. I'm blaspheming even more.
Yeah. So
I saw that film. Okay, and can I just say I thought it was a lovely, excellent film, absolutely excellent film. Deft emotional touches.
Spoiler, come. Give me an overall view of what
Okay, so the film is basically about it tells 2 stories, one in the present, one in the past. Okay, Chow region, who discover a stash of letters that their grandmother, who's still alive, wrote to her husband, who had gone to Southeast Asia after the devastation of the Second World War and make money and support the family. And then in the past, we talk about how it's trials and tribulations, and we find out. Okay, spoiler alert from this point forth. We find out that in fact, the husband died a long time ago, and basically a good female friend of his has been supporting the family back in China throughout 30 years, for 40 years, 50 years.
Wow.
And then there's this wonderful emotional ending where the old lady from China, now because China can easily travel over to Thailand and meet this lady who has been supporting the family for her whole life.
Oh,
So it's very emotional.
So an overseas Chinese supporting local Chinese for a long time, and now the local Chinese are successful. They come back and get reunited.
Yeah. There's a problem though. And the problem in Singapore is that there's been this huge debate because the film, honestly, is true. The power of the film, and here is where I agree with. It's seldom that I agree with a lot of my filmmaker brethren. I think our politics are very different. But here I agree that the power of the film lies in the dialect. Once you take the dialect out and you say, we do it in Chinese, in Mandarin Chinese, no more power. Gone. Power all gone there.
Agree. You don't want to watch Go Azai in English.
Yeah.
God forbid Chinese.
No,
you know?
even Stephen Chow, right? We don't listen to it in the original Cantonese, right? In the Mandarin, it loses all the power. It loses all the hilarity. I've been away for a bit. Maybe you want to tell me what's happening in Singapore with regards to that.
Everybody's up in arms about the show, except that it's a very narrow topic. It's really about dialect. The film shouldn't be delivered in dialect, and it should be dubbed over.
Okay.
Right, come on. It spoils the texture of the show. And even if you don't speak Teochew, you want to be able to get the feeling.
But let's be honest, it's not people, it's government.
It's government.
And so the people are now up in arms at the government for making this thing right.
And may I just say that this is very Streisand effect. The more you tell people don't watch, the more they want to watch. And because of that, the government has successfully promoted the show because of controversy. If they had just let it through, I think nobody would have batted an eyelid. I think it would have gone through 2 screenings or case closed.
But okay, to be fair, there's another starting point for this one as well. When the film came out, there was an article in 联合早报 that said this is a very, very successful United Front Works Department propaganda film.
Can you explain to me what is United Front? Is it another political party?
So the United Front, it's basically an umbrella organization that brings together a lot of the propaganda and sort of soft power organizations to try and convince, especially now, overseas Chinese of allying and being closer to China. Okay.
Are they a Chinese organization?
It is a Chinese government organization. I'm not an expert in Chinese politics, but it's generally under the whole state or Communist Party sort of umbrella. One interesting thing is, and this I read from a SCMP article, apparently at one of the screenings in China, the producer of the film actually thanked the United Front Works Department for helping promote the film overseas.
Ooh.
There's an obvious link there between the United Front Works Department and this film. Now, I don't think that it was actually made as a propaganda film. I keep saying it's a wonderful film. It is very emotional. It's well crafted. Scripting, I started as a scriptwriter, so I feel very deeply for good scripts, right? It's a very good script, but it's a very small film. I think, if I'm not wrong, it was like $1.5 million US, which is a very, very tiny...
It made or it cost?
It cost. Okay. So it's about 10 million yuan. There's a tiny, tiny budget in China, right? It wouldn't have come on the radar of any big government organ until they realized, because it became a sleeper hit. You know, there were 3 or 4 big films that came out along the way. This film dipped down and then came back up and basically blew all box office records. I think it's made so far about 300 million yuan.
From 1 million, damn it, I'm getting the filmmaking.
No, from 10 million to 300 million. Yeah. You don't, but this is one film. I tell you, this is one film, okay? So, I think, but once it came out, I think the powers that be probably realized its power, its potential, and then said, let's put more effort behind this and let's promote this film. But basically what happened is that after this Zhao Pao article came out, a huge storm of wave of retorts and rebuttals from a lot from press in China and government-linked press in China saying that, you're being too sensitive. Singaporeans lack critical thinking if they think that's what's happening. The strength of the anger coming back out from a lot of these government mouthpieces kind of shows that maybe this Zhao Pao article wasn't on the wrong track in the first place. You know, you wouldn't push back with such fury. So you know what they say about sunlight being the best disinfectant. If you reveal the true motives of something, then that something loses its power. A lot of the people who are complaining about this, right, about not having dialects in films, right, they're filmmakers. And I get it from a filmmaking point of view. You want freedom of expression, you want freedom of being able to say what you feel on the medium that you want to do it, which is film. But they have to understand also that the IMDA, there are wider political implications to this kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know. So anyway, that's where we're at in terms of the idea of propaganda in the film. Yeah.
Ooh. And I can imagine that if the IMDA and even MBDI would have a very tough time carrying across this message.
I think you can't carry across this message, because if you look at even like when we're talking about cyber attacks on our infrastructure, we're very coy.
Kind of flag it or drop it.
We're kind of saying, draw your own assumptions, you know, where this comes from. Yeah. And then if it's from
China,
over there. Exactly, from over there. You can't say who's actually behind this. Right? But in particular, it also goes back to the point where we've got a very interesting sort of relationship with China. Very big country, it's a very important country in the world. The world is turning into more of a G2 than a G7. It's China and America. And we're a very small country, we're caught in the middle. But we have something of great value to them, which is we tend to have a trusted position in the world. We tend to be a sort of like a fair player, and also we're majority Chinese. So that's where I think the issue lies.
So we are a thorn in the backside of giants.
Are we a thorn or a carbuncle? You know? It could be a thorn sometimes. But when you press a thorn or you press a pimple, right, it feels shook. You know?
Yeah.
So sometimes we make them feel shook.
Yeah.
So maybe that is our meta in life. We are sometimes a thorn, we are sometimes shook.
Kita kena infection. Plug too much.
What kind of criticism have you seen?
All that's great. But here, very locally and very narrowly, it has been centered all about dialect.
Okay.
And I'm looking at this and I'm like, wow, guys, you guys can't even go home and speak to your grandmother without subtitles appearing under her, you know.
Hey, I can speak to only one grandmother. It was very sad.
I think the whole thing about dialect in Singapore is, I wouldn't say it died a natural death, but it is dying a natural death.
I disagree, you know.
Firstly, what dialect do you want to teach? I have children. Ideally want to, teach them Cantonese, because that's the thing I grew up with.
Okay.
But lo and behold, my father is Hainanese, my mother is Hokkien. Is Cantonese doing it in my vocabulary. My grandmother on my father's side.
Right.
That actually gave that influence. So, all of us grew up with such mixed heritage. Hainanese lah, Teochew lah, Hokkien, there's even Hokkien, and so on and so forth. Which one do you want to speak? You can't teach them all.
Right.
And it's very unnatural. And even if I wanted to teach my children, my wife doesn't speak Cantonese. I can't teach my children this anymore, and I just forget it. Just speak whatever you want.
Yeah.
It turns out it's English, because English is easy. So that's one route of how it's dying. And number two, even on the streets and on the taxis today, you know, I grew up in an environment where taxi drivers would ask you, the kitolo, or like, boy, that's just me, you know. Yeah. But here today, it's all,
No, because I was saying throughout all our recordings, right? I never presumed that you spoke Cantonese. Because through all our recordings, all the Hokkien terms you come out from you. So were they Hokkien terms that you learned in the army?
Yes. So the Hokkien terms were stuff that I learned in the army, because you know Hokkien is such a cool language. You know, it's like it's the language of the Tang Dynasty, Teng Nang. You know, and that's where it came from.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the language that influenced that area of the world. Japanese sounds a lot like Hokkien. Korean sounds enormously. Sekai.
Wakarimasen.
Sekai, Shinbun,
世界吗？
Sekai.
新闻吗？
Simbun, they are the same words in Hokkien. So there's tremendous influence down there.
Shinbun as in
the news.
Yeah, Shinbun.
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
What is Hokkien for
Same
Shinbun?
thing, Shinbun. Yeah, it's the same thing.
Okay.
Anyway, you don't know what to teach your children anymore. You know, it's not used on the streets anymore.
Yeah.
It's not used in the world anymore. And by and large, you slowly find it going out of fashion.
Okay.
I mean, I remember growing up in a time where there were news being broadcast in Hokkien, even Hainanese and Cantonese. It was quite interesting to listen to. I have no idea what they said, but it was still quite fun.
Rediffusion, you know.
Rediffusion.
Yeah, those little.
There's rediffusion, but even over the airwaves, I can't remember what radio station it was, but it did exist. You don't teach dialect in schools because it was the language of the streets.
Yeah.
The lingua franca.
Yeah. When you talk about the Speak Chinese campaign, Speak Mandarin campaign,
Yeah.
it's not a purely Singapore phenomenon. A lot of this stemmed from, like, you know, there's a very famous movement called the May 4th movement.
Yes.
In China, you know about that?
Yes,
yeah?
yes.
Where, you know, it's this idea to bring together this great new rejuvenation of the Chinese nation, linked to things like literacy and being able to all speak a central dialect and write a central simplified Chinese, right?
It's their idea.
Yeah, it's their idea, exactly.
Yeah.
How things change, because now it seems like, they're saying that, maybe dialect is a good way to sort of push this whole ancestral idea that you are Chinese, you're ancestrally Chinese, therefore you're also sort of nationalistically Chinese, and you should follow us. But the problem with that idea is, it goes one way. What they're saying is, you have roots from China. SM Lee said, actually, no, in Singapore, we may have had some Chinese ancestral links, right? But we lay down roots in Singapore.
当新加坡与中国在某些课题上采取不同立场的时候，有些中国朋友就这样问我们：既然同文、同宗、同祖、同言、同语，你们为什么不同意？所以这个是很微妙的问题，但是是一个很关键的问题，我们必须立场分明，解释清楚。本地的马来人、印度人和欧亚裔人，最终也和华人一样，选择在这里落地生根。所以从落叶归根变成落地生根，逐渐对新加坡产生认同。
It echoes his father saying, we are not a Chinese nation, we're not an Indian nation, we're not a Malay nation, we are Singapore, we are a nation for all. We are a multicultural, multi-ethnic country. And I think that's something which is very hard for people who come from a monoculture to truly understand what it means to be a multicultural country.
So that reminds me, Obama, I think, stole it from him. Say, we are not a democratic States of America, we are not a Republican state of America, we are the United States of America, something like that.
I distinctly remember LKY saying, yes, we can. LKY did say, yes, we can. I said, this is what I feel, you all follow me. So you're right. We never actually taught dialect in schools because you don't need to teach dialect in schools. What we did was we prioritized the teaching of a unified language, Mandarin. What people don't talk about is there's a reason behind it. One of our very first podcasts, we talked about the most deadliest racial riots in Singapore. Was it 19?
Exactly. Two dialect groups.
Two dialect groups. It was between the Hokkien and the Teochew.
That's right. That's right.
People's memories are very, very recent.
Yeah.
I still remember back in my mum's time, my parents used to tell me, right, about how my grandparents had a whole issue about someone marrying someone from a different dialect group.
Yeah, I do have a sense that the dialect groups were not entirely friendly with each other. Yeah.
In independence, how much more separate were the dialect groups? Every dialect group speaking on their own. A generation before that, they were murdering each other in the streets. So how do you craft a country, a national identity out of that?
Yeah.
In a short amount of time?
Speak one language.
One language, that's what Al-Kabai did.
Yeah. English.
Speak two languages. You can keep English and keep Tamil, you can keep Malay, you can keep what. But that's the thing. I think people forget that basis behind all of the Speak Mandarin campaign kind of thing. You had to pull together a country from nothing and make it something.
Yeah.
Make everyone move in the same direction.
And hence the emphasis or overemphasis on not using dialect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with Al-Kabai when you say that actually people can't really learn more than like one or two languages. Because it's damn hard. And it's damn hard to have mastery in even one of those languages.
You should follow this guy called UG Beluza on Instagram.
As well, those
He can speak
polyglots.
any language.
We have to understand where policies come from. If we're going to critique them now, we got to understand where they come from. And I think now, yeah, we are very confident in our own identity. You know, I love the fact that we're actually in Little India, having prata, talking about issues of identity. Right? I will say this: Speak Mandarin campaign has been very useful for me, and I say this as we keep talking about the jiak kentang boy. Right? Actually, when I go to Shanghai and I talk to people, right, I can talk to them quite well in Chinese. You know, and maybe they're being polite by saying, "Oh, 你的普通话讲得很好，没那么好了." But at least we can do 2 or 3 different languages. You know, it's quite useful for us. That being said, I think we should allow dialect in movies.
Yeah, it's time to bring back some of this flavor.
Yeah.
I think for the dialects to get loggerheads with each other again, the risk is extremely
It's
low.
quite low.
And it'll be quite fun. I mean, Parliament in dialect now, that would be fun. Not news in dialect. Yeah?
Because it's quite interesting, because when you read the old Hansards, right, they'll say, oh, so and so in vernacular, and then you know it's not Chinese, it's not English, it's Hokkien or whatever.
So IMDA, come on, sponsor some of this. It'll be quite cool. And if you do sponsor some of this, perhaps we could do a reverse propaganda. Do you think our films may be allowed for viewing in China?
Having had some experience in trying to distribute films in China, I think very hard. China has a quota system for foreign films. Okay, so I think only about 40 foreign films are allowed in every year. And most of the slots go to the big American films, which is why a whole bunch of years ago, you had foreign films, you had American films which were ostensibly co-productions, but they were really like crappy co-productions, like Iron Man 3. Do you know that Iron Man 3 was a Chinese co-production with America?
I'm not surprised. I've detected some of this.
For the pure sake of releasing in China. Okay.
I did not. For no rhyme or reason, you have something that happens in China that makes them look really good.
Yes, but what you don't know is that there was a separate cut made for China alone. There was something like 15 minutes put in the front of Iron Man 3 for the Chinese audience alone. And it involved our dear Mr. Robert Downey Jr. traveling to China to get acupuncture. I swear to God, go and look it up online. Get acupuncture to remove all the toxins from his arc reactor or some shit.
Oh,
and they stuffed the 15 minutes so full of advertisements. He was drinking like this kind of yogurt drink from China, and they were saying, "Oh, this is so great." And then they released it, and it was the most egregious use of the whole co-production strategy. So it became a co-production, therefore it was not part of the quota system for these films, right? But the Chinese authorities were like scratching their heads, like, this is firstly ridiculous. So after that, they changed the law saying that any film that's a co-production has to be the same film worldwide. So then Disney was like, yeah, I cannot, this loophole is done for already, because I cannot release the first 15 minutes in America with him drinking Chinese yogurt and getting acupuncture. And the worst thing is that they got a very famous actor to do like a cameo of like 5 minutes in the first film as the acupuncture doctor. But going back to this, I think actually what we need to do now is we need to pour way more money into our films.
Yes.
Our own local films. You want to watch dialect films? Singapore dialect films.
Here.
Right.
Yeah.
Because film is now a national security issue. If you're talking about propaganda, you're talking about politics, film is a political tool.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's why you cannot anyhowly show videos during the elections. A little bit backside.
Yeah, party political films.
Yes.
I come from this film background, and I know the power of film. The power it has to elicit emotions, you know. Good, positive, negative, elicit emotions regardless. You look at someone like Leni Riefenstahl, who was a Nazi filmmaker. You know, she made all these great films. They were fantastic films. In terms of cinematography, in terms of emotion, they were wonderful films glorifying a horrific regime. How do you square that?
Big elephant in the room.
Okay.
So if we were going to restrict films with propaganda, in particular Chinese film, and then all those Western film, how? Our airways are flooded with Western films.
It's true. Like what differentiates Ammah the情书from
Iron Man.
or Top Gun Maverick, which is even more.
You see, they're all about the American Air Force.
It's true. There's a dedicated Department of Defense organ that deals with Hollywood, that provides Hollywood with weaponry, guns, crude troops, flyovers of stealth bombers, whatever you want. If they approve your script and they say, okay, we approve the script, we think that it's in the same keeping as what we want.
Oh wow!
So it is propaganda as well.
Defense.
Yeah. So it is also propaganda. I completely agree. Films from America also propaganda.
Yeah.
But there's a difference, right?
Okay.
I mean,
what's the difference?
let it law, let it law, let it law.
So they're different color. Different race. So they are kept that.
Okay, if you look at Tom Cruise, you say, oh man, yeah, he stands for the American way, his liberty, but there's not that. There's still that emotional divide.
Yeah, they're not American.
We're not American.
Yeah, we are not quite people.
Yeah.
We won't feel like, I want to go and live in America. No, actually, I do want to go.
Maybe you would, but
you're not one of them.
You will never feel that same kind of visceral emotional pull.
Yeah.
Different when the person looks like your grandma. Has the same stories that your grandma used to tell when you were younger.
They are you.
They are you. And then it's a very short line to go from there, they are you, to you should support us. You should think like us.
Yeah.
Whereas, no, I'm Chinese, you're Chinese, but I'm Singaporean. First and foremost, I'm Singaporean. You know?
Yeah.
And so we do things based on what's good for Singapore, not based on anything else.
And mind you, this stuff from the West, there's also seeps into the local ideology.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Netflix and all that. They are all carrying one sole message. I don't want to go too deep into the message because it's another podcast altogether. Ideologies get in, but there are certain ideologies they want to keep out. I mean, it's going to be a very hard sell for any communist-centered film, to take place in Singapore.
Yeah.
But has Singapore banned any Western film recently or in the near past?
Well, I mean, there have been lots of bans in the past. But the one thing that sticks in my mind is something like, say, Martin Scorsese's The Last Temptation of Christ, which was banned here when it was first released. I think it's no longer banned. I'm sure you can get the DVDs and the Blu-rays and all that somewhere. But I think right now, Andy is doing the best it can, to be perfectly honest, right? I mean, they've seen public sentiment, they've seen public demand for the film, they're allowing more to go in. But at the same time, you've got all these articles from Chow telling people, hey, watch the film, enjoy the film with what you like, but be wary that, there are always other forces in play. And I think that's the best we can do. And you can see that in a lot of our recent legislation. We've had legislation on clan associations saying that they have to declare who are their office holders, who are their main sponsors, their main donors, stuff like that. Because that's one way in which, again, you've had United Front activities in other countries, in Australia and UK, stuff like that. We've had, the Foreign Interference Bill coming in. A lot of things are put in place just to make sure that we at least understand what's going on. Politically exposed people. Yeah. I think there was one Hong Konger who was declared a foreign agent. It's not punitive, by the way. And I like the fact that we are aware that we live in a new world. We cannot just jail people or deport them, but we can tell people, look, this is who this guy is. No, I mean, within reason. You cannot just do it for no reason, but we are saying, in terms of this dialect thing, we're saying, okay, we'll have a few. If you want, you can apply for more. We'll try and give you more slots to see the film in. And after a while, I think the interest will die down and it'll just be another film. Yeah. And then we have things like declaring people political agents or foreign agents. It's not punitive. They're still free and entitled to walk around Singapore, but people then know, this is who this guy is. I think that's a much better way. It's a soft touch. Cool.
Very interesting. So I should go watch the film. I don't speak a single word of Teochew, but hey, I watch like South African shows and Netflix has amazing Indian language, shows in the Indian languages. Very nice. I'll watch this for the same reasons.
Okay.
I will probably be unlikely to teach my children Cantonese anytime soon. My father used to say, "Da se chui guan xiong." When there's opportunity, you strike it all the way.
Sorry, my mom used to say, "Sang ye lap cha siu ho ba sang wo lei."
My grandma used to say paduka sui in Hainanese.
Wow, what does that mean,
Beat
man?
your backside. That's all the Hainanese I know.
And then all the Teochew I know is le jia ba wei, le jia ei wei. Have you eaten and have you showered?
My grandmother was already born here in Singapore, so the distance between us and China it remains in language, but even in language right now we're so confused.
Okay.
So by the next generation comes in, they are Singaporean that speaks English.
Good job. Singaporeans forever.
Cheers.
Cheers, man.